Are you feeling depressed, anxious, and/or stressed? Well, you're not alone. Welcome to Neu-Self, a virtual community of healing and personal growth. Marco here with Neu-Self. I'm committed to helping you uncover your true purpose and unleash your greatness. In order to do that, we need to address some real-time challenges that are blocking you. Last week, we discussed the importance of transforming our mindsets from a battleground to a playground. Please refer to last week's video for details. I have attached the link to that video for your convenience. This past week was a very difficult and challenging week for so many of my friends, family, subscribers, and myself. The common themes when speaking with them were depression, anxiety, stress, and a deep sense of feeling alone. Well, let me tell you, you are not alone. There are so many of us riding the same emotional roller coaster. One day we're feeling good, happy, focused, in love, and full of energy. Then all of a sudden, a hit, a turn, and quickly drop 20 feet into a black hole that could have either come from hearing bad news, the loss of a loved one, loss of a job, or an unexpected broken heart. I would like to share something with you that hit me hard this week. I found out that one of my closest friends had passed out in the middle of the street, fell and hit his head so hard he cracked his skull and caused brain bleeding. His wife quickly reacted and dragged him to the sidewalk and called 911. I'm happy to say he's now recovering well, but still experiencing headaches. The neurologist is hoping his brain will self-absorb the blood. If not, they will have to drain it. Not only did this make me feel sad, but it reinforced the fact that life is not guaranteed, which is a whole different topic for a future discussion. This week, I would like to tackle the topic of depression. Depression is real and debilitating. Depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and lack of interest to the extent that it interferes with your daily life. It is a common mental health problem that affects so many people. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, there's an estimated 17.3 million adults in the United States that had at least one major depression episode. And the prevalence of major depressive episodes was higher among females compared to males. There are a lot of reasons why a person might be diagnosed with depression, from simple biological causes to psychological and social issues. Or perhaps it's caused by asking oneself too many unanswerable questions. I know a few people that I overthink things to where they end up creating a false reality. They tend to focus so much energy on things that don't exist or cannot control that they're too tired to live and too self-involved that they don't take advantage of the resources or people that love them. All that thinking ends up causing that person to shut down, hold things in, and push people away. They push people away by distancing and not sharing what's going on, and then blame the other person for not being there for them, not knowing that the other person also has their own demons to battle. It's like going down the roller coaster, putting your hands up in the air and not screaming, then asking your partner, "Why didn't you hold me? I was scared." And your partner turns to you and says, "I was scared too. I reached to hold your hand, but your hands were too high for me to grab." Looking back, how many of you can agree that there was a time when your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, or partner actually did try to be there and took small steps to help, but you were too afraid or too deep in your hole that you didn't really see their efforts, but rather you overthought their lack of effort and created a false sense of them. Taking the roller coaster example, that's the person coming down the roller coaster with their hands up, their eyes closed, and not screaming. Didn't realize that the other person next to them actually had their hand on their leg for comfort while holding on to their other hand for dear mercy as they too were scared. How can you expect someone to be there if you don't tell them you need help? You spend so much time and energy around the beating the bush, throwing small hints, but never clearly saying what it is you're going through that needs their attention and energy. Maybe you do tell them even more that you need more time and you need to share more time, but their presence is so important and you don't share what mental battles you're fighting, so the other person doesn't see the urgency. It's almost like setting them up for failure. Telling them you need quality time isn't telling them, "Hey, I have this issue I'm going through and I need your support." You may not need them to fix it, but just need them to hold your hand while you drop those 20 feet. This is yet another example of the battleground in our minds that push us down and keeps us from growing. Last week I asked you to write down 3 top things that are keeping you up at night. Did you? I also asked you to write down the things you can't control and the things you can control. Did you? If you did, then you're on the right track to uncovering your purpose and unleashing your greatness. If you haven't yet, it's never too late. Also, if you haven't written down the things you cannot change, you really need to do so this week so you can visually see what it is that is holding you back. Pushing away the person or people that love you and want to be there for you is not the answer. You cannot get better by dismissing and pushing away the gift of love and support. Even if that person is making small steps to meet you halfway, sometimes halfway isn't really halfway. Maybe you have to go 3/4 of the way. Either case, you can't move forward without communicating and sharing how heavy your cross is, because their cross might just be heavier. So this week's call to action is 1, write down 3 things that you can and cannot control, keeping you up at night, keeping you in the back hole, and then throw away the list of the things that you cannot control. Write down action steps you will take this week to address those things you can control. And finally, 3, schedule the time for you. This should be uninterrupted time that you will allow you to focus your greatness. During this time, you should be telling yourself, my Maker does not make mistakes. Therefore, He created me just the way He needs me to be, to fulfill my purpose. There is nothing I can't do. There is nothing that can stop me from being happy. There is nothing that can get in the way of me uncovering my purpose and unleashing my greatness. I'm excited to see where this week takes us. If you haven't already clicked your like button, please do so. But more importantly, if you haven't subscribed, you need to. And share this amazing opportunity to be part of a virtual community that keeps growing. My vision for Neu-Self is that we continue to grow as a community and build our talents and skills so that we can share them with those that are in need and create access to something amazing. Until next week, please stay safe, focused on your healing, and make someone's day. Remember, you are great, amazing, and beautiful.